Ollie Bearman had such an impressive drive this weekend, and I feel like it kind of got lost in how exciting the whole race was. Typically, when we have a lot of excitement up at the front, we don't always talk about what's going on midfield or at the back of the grid. But Ollie Bearman, the rookie who drives for Haas, started P20 and finished P10. To be able to take a car from the very back of the grid into the points is something we talk about being impressive regardless of the driver being experienced or being a rookie. We've seen this happen with very experienced drivers. Max Verstappen, for example, has been celebrated from being able to come from all the way in the back of the grid to winning a race. But sometimes it feels even more impressive when it's a driver who not only doesn't have that level of experience, but also is driving in a midfield car. And one of the things about this season is that we have so many rookies to compare against each other. There are 6 rookies this season all the way up and down the field with different levels of experience coming in. We have Liam Lawson at VCarb, Jack Doohan at Alpine, Kimi Antonelli at Mercedes, Gabriel Bortoleto at Stake, and Isaac Hadjar also at VCarb. And then obviously Ollie Bearman at Haas. Now coming into the season, I feel like a couple of those rookies had more pressure on them than others. When you look at drivers like Liam Lawson and Ollie Bearman, those 2 drivers actually had experience driving in Formula 1 Grand Prix as reserve drivers. Liam Lawson has actually filled in so many times that he technically doesn't qualify as a rookie this year, and Ollie had such a big fanfare last season filling in for Carlos Sainz at Ferrari. And so one of the things that will be interesting about this season is that as we open it up, we've already seen rookies start to compare to each other. Kimi Antonelli and Isaac Hadjar have been the larger talked about rookies so far in terms of their performance, and Liam Lawson obviously already had a driver swap. But the drivers we have not heard as much about in terms of rookies are Ollie Bearman and Gabriel Bortoleto. And so what will be interesting to see is the long-term performance of each of these rookies. We're now 4 rounds into a 24-round season, and if we were picking a most valuable rookie for this race alone, it's absolutely Ollie Bearman's drive. Also, I will say one of the absolute cutest things to me that always reminds me how young these drivers are was the number of people that came over the radio to congratulate Ollie on how well he had done, and closing out that radio message was his dad. And so sometimes there are some very, very sweet moments in this sport that remind you just how important every race feels. Because very often, Formula 1 specifically suffers from sort of recency bias. You're only as good as your last performance. So I do want to note this and point out that I think Ollie Bearman may be getting his bearings. And as we push through our remaining races, it will be interesting to see how each of the rookies compare in the end. All of that being said, Bahrain was actually one of the most exciting races that we've had, and a very strongly different race than Suzuka was last week. We'll be breaking down the full race and reactions on the podcast, and if you'd like to have your questions about the race answered, your hot takes about this week's race or the season so far, or your predictions for next race, be sure to drop them in the comments for a chance to be included in the episode.